Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is currently 4 a.m. and I am wide awake, wide awake. And I got my doggo. See if I get her. Luna. Hey, what? Look at it. There she is. There's Luna. I'm hoping this lighting's okay. Just ignore my big ass pimples and shit. It's just part of life. You get pimples. You get pimples and you get pimples and you get more pimples. And you just gotta deal with it, and I'm too lazy. Way too lazy to put on any makeup over this. So you just gotta deal with the pimples. To deal with my messy ass hair. Deal with my dog jumping up on me. He's got to deal with it. It's one of those things, man. Oh, Lord Jesus. So today, I actually have a different kind of video for you guys. Something that I'm just going to talk briefly about, but enough so you know a little bit about what I'm about. I'm 22, and I know you've already heard this at the beginning of my channel, but I'm 22 and I'm a criminal justice student. I'm currently injured, just had surgery 10 days ago, give or take. I plan on getting the hell out of Tennessee. I live in Tennessee, and I live with my lovely boyfriend of almost 2 years. That being said, just because I don't think I look like I have it all together. I think I look crazy as a motherfucking Betsy bug, but, just make it work. And if you see me looking different ways, I'm just trying to look at myself. I'm getting new. This is new to me. I'm working on it. But, I guess one reason I wanted to create this channel was to bring light to darker things. Just because something is dark, with quotations, doesn't necessarily mean it's negative. It may have negative effects, but it doesn't mean you can't turn that darkness into something great, something so immense that it also helps others. And I don't really like to talk about this stuff a lot, but I really have a passion to just help people, and I don't really know how to help people just, day to day, because I don't hang out with anybody, I don't see anybody. I'm literally in my apartment 24/7 unless I'm going to physical therapy. That's literally it. But I guess I wanted to say that, I guess I'll give you a little history. And if you have something negative to say, you could just shut it up and fucking shove it back in your throat. Like, I don't give a fuck. It's not gonna bother me. Excuse my dog. I'm not gonna give a little wimpy, give me sympathy story either. But I will give you some facts, so perhaps you could understand. And I'm not gonna give any information about my family, really. They're kind of well known, and I don't want to out anybody, even if they have treated me poorly. So at the age of 10, I was probably 9, but at the age of 10, I started self-harming. I started cutting myself. I don't like that term. I don't like people saying you're a cutter, but I did inflict bodily harm onto myself with sharp objects. Enough to bleed and eventually need stitches. Before that, I pulled out my hair. I pulled out my hair so much that I had bald spots. I'm diagnosed with trichotillomania, and if you can't tell, I have a little spot right here that's thinner. It's been growing in. I still struggle with it. That is why my hair is short. My hair is short so I could pull out less. That is my goal. I want to keep as much hair as I can without being able to pull it out. I've tried everything to stop it. But at the age of 9 or 10, I started self-harming via cutting. And it progressed rather rapidly. By the age of 11 and 12, I was needing sutures, and DCS was involved, Department of Children's Services. At 12 years old, that was my first suicide attempt, and I knew what I was doing, and I wanted it, and I felt like I needed it, and it was planned for months, and it was a good fucking plan. I was prescribed things for a heart condition I have, and I was also prescribed medication for anxiety. I had the medication, I had plenty of it, actually we just got the bottles filled, so I had 3 full bottles of medication, and I remember it was about 3 weeks prior to my 12th birthday, so technically I was 11. I took them. I took all of my heart medication, and I took the other bottle of anxiety medication, all of it. Every last morsel was about 60 pills, give or take. I took it all, and I didn't take it at my house. I didn't take it where anyone would find me. I actually went out into the woods that was absolutely nowhere near my house. I took off earlier in the day. No one really paid attention to me, and I took them right when it was starting to get dark, and I waited and I waited and I waited, and I had a suicide note. Now keep in mind, I'm dyslexic, and a lot of people don't know that because I hide it well. But back then I struggled a lot more with it than I did now, and so the note probably didn't make a lot of sense to anyone who ended up reading it. It was even though my attempt was well thought out, and I knew what I was doing, and I wanted it, and I wanted to die. I needed to die at that moment. I don't think the note would have made a lot of sense just because of how bad the dyslexia was. I didn't write well. I didn't read well. That's why I cheated. I cheated my way through school, honestly. But I laid out in the forest. I had a little backpack with, a towel and some stuff in it, and I laid out there, and I don't know how many hours later, but it was in the daylight. I hear some voices, and I couldn't see anything. All I could do was hear, and I got brought to the hospital, and I was in such a remote location that they flew me via helicopter to the hospital, and so I was in the ICU for a week and a half, and then just part of the normal hospital for another week, and then I was sent to a psychiatric hospital. So on my 13th birthday, on my 12th birthday, on my 12th birthday, I was in the hospital. And it didn't really help me, and actually the only positive thing I can say that truly came out of that hospitalization was that I got away from my family and school. That was really it. But that was not my intentions for the attempt at all. My intentions were to die. No ifs, ands, or but fucks. My intentions were to die. So fast forward, I guess, a little while. I was clean from self-harm for about a month or two. I was still actively suicidal. I was actually thinking recently what that one defining moment in my life was. And that one defining moment in my life was when I had that first suicidal thought. That first thought that just stuck. And ever since I had that thought, and it just kind of resonated with me, I can't shake it. I don't care how well I'm doing. I don't care what job I have. I don't care how well I'm doing in college. I don't care where I live, what I'm doing, who I'm with, what I have. It doesn't change anything at all. Just being honest, because I still have the suicide thoughts. Doesn't mean I'm gonna act on them, but I do have them. And so throughout middle school and high school, I had seven hospitalizations. tried to kill myself several times. They weren't nearly as planned out. It was more just sleep deprivation and then, lack of food. I was highly anorexic. I was 5'4" and weighed 89 pounds, if that says anything. I wasn't really thinking clearly. I wanted to die, but I didn't really necessarily put in all the effort for it, if I'm being honest. But I was deeply sad, and I was anxious, and I continued to pull out my hair and continued to have the same compulsive and impulsive thoughts and actions, for that matter. At the age of 17, after totally and completely fucking up my entire body from head to toe, I agreed to go to a residential treatment facility. It was Christian, and it was free of charge, technically, but it was not a treatment facility. I'm not going to say the name because I know a lot of people that went there and they loved it, and some didn't, but it did not help. Let's just say that. I actually tried to kill myself there, and I got in a lot of trouble. And when I was 18, I got injured. Had my second, no. It's my fourth right knee dislocation. And so I was out of the game. And I did PT for the remainder of my 18th year. And when I turned 19, I had surgery to repair it. And I was back home with my mom. It was awful. And it was a very dark time. Right now, like, as I sit here, this is my left knee. I don't know if you could see it, but that's how I'm doing right now. Now my left knee is out. And I had surgery 10 days ago. And I think I could say honestly, which I don't tell people this, I am in therapy, I will say that. And I do have a psychiatrist, so I am seeking help. It's not like I'm just sitting here and wallowing in it. But I don't open up very easily to people. Excuse me. I would say I've been, instead of self-harming through cutting and burning, it's translated into, at least prior to injury, over-exercise, hitting myself, and then I was drinking a lot. And I was drinking so much, that it affected me, like, mentally, per se, but I was able to act normal. And I was working a job that was so awful, that my boss actually ended up getting fired. It was so bad. It was bad. That I would put vodka into a water bottle and drink on it all day, and I would just chew gum. That's how bad it was. However, I could stop whenever I wanted. Like, I didn't have withdrawal symptoms from alcohol or anything. I just did it. I did it mainly to fall asleep because I can't sleep or shit. But I did it. And the weeks prior to having surgery, this go around, I've been very depressed. I had PT for, 2 months trying not to have surgery, but it obviously didn't do the job. And I got a job, and, when I was working somewhere else, just a few hours a week, try to get by. I just got the job, and then, my knee re-injured. I got my knee re-injured, and so I had to have surgery. So I guess what I'm saying now, I'm put in a situation right now where all control is gone. And that's not a good situation. I live on the second floor. I'm not supposed to leave this apartment unless it's absolutely necessary. So that's for, like, physical therapy and doctor's appointments. I can't leave otherwise. I have no friends. Literally, I have no real life friends. And really no internet friends either. And so I'm just stuck here with my dog and my computer broke. I can't, edit much. I'm kind of limited right now. And my coping mechanisms that I have developed over the years were all kind of just like staying busy, staying very, very, very busy. And it's been very, very difficult to stay very, very busy. So I've been quite down. And I've relapsed several times. But I guess in the back of my mind right now, even though it's not going to be a fix-all, cure-all, is that if I cut too deep right now, and I'm away from my phone, and something were to happen, I would be really screwed. I would also be screwed if I cut too deep, period, because I'm not able to drive right now. On top of that, my car broke down today, so all we have is my boyfriend's car. So I would be stuck. I feel like I would be stuck. Because normally I just drive myself to the hospital, have someone else drive me to the hospital. But I'm doing better on that realm. I'm really, really trying to just focus on my creative side, which is hard to do all the time, And I'm not a TV watcher. The only thing I really watch is the first 48 and Lot PD. If that sounds geeky, it is, because I'm a geek. But what I'm trying to say is, 4 years ago, when I had, give or take 4 years, whatever the math is, when I was 18, I had my right knee surgery. I'm now 22. When I had my right knee surgery, I was in such a pit. I attempted suicide 3 times. I spent most of my rehab time for my knee in the hospital, doing PT in the hospital. I was living in a really shitty situation, and I couldn't overcome it in my head. I couldn't find the strength to just ignore the situation. And now, the same situations are occurring. I'm just in my own place. And for whatever reason, I don't know what it is, I am able to just kind of zone things out. And it's really good to be able to zone some things out. But what I'm trying to say, and I sound like I'm not depressed, I sound like I'm happy, I sound like nothing really bothered me, like I have it all together. That's the way I talk. That's why people have a hard time believing me. I just kind of talk uppity, I guess. I'm in a really dark spot right now. I'm suicidal. I'm not gonna deny that. I'm not saying I'm actively suicidal necessarily. I am suicidal. I do self-harm. My anxiety is awful. I'm doing mentally very poorly. If you were to rate yourself from 0 to 10, and 10 being I'm doing great, I'm like a 2. But I'm handling this better. And what I'm trying to say, from one extremely saddened and depressed person to another, I don't know if anyone will watch this, but if you do, hear me out. You will eventually, somehow, some way, you may not understand it, just like I don't understand it, be able to just deal with it. You'll find something, some passion, somebody, something. But if you find that passion within you, for whatever it is, even if it's just to prove your family wrong, if that passion is big enough, you will overcome it. And I think, in many cases, that people are chronically depressed. It doesn't mean that the depression can and will conquer their life entirely. It just means that you're just going to be one step ahead of it. You're just going to have to work that much harder than the next person to be okay. And that's okay. It's okay to not be okay. And I'm telling you, And I don't look emotional. I don't look sad. I don't look any of that. But I am telling you that things will eventually slide into place. And it might hurt like fucking hell. I had to leave my very injured mother overnight with my dogs. Just to get away. And it sucked. When I left, I cut ties with my entire family. Simply because I hurt my mom. No one wanted anything to do with me. It was a week before Christmas and no one wanted anything to do with me. I had no one in my family. But it was worth it. I'm sitting here in freedom. This is freedom to me. Away from my family is freedom. And the only way I made it to this point in my life is through a passion to overcome what my family is. They are a line of alcoholics and addicts and abusers. And I absolutely, positively refuse to be that. I refuse. And I wish I wasn't the first person that, changes that. But I may be. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with my family despising me just because I know that I am doing the right thing. January, I tried to kill myself, and I actually got very close. I was in the ICU for a while. And they knew. They were somehow on my emergency contact list. I really don't know how. But they knew. And one of the first days when I was kind of more into it, my mom showed up. And she told me that she hopes I go to hell and that I die. And when she said that, for whatever reason, it just gave me this push to just continue. And I was so fucking sad. And I saw no reason to live. But then I started to kind of put things together. I'm like, I'm created for something. And I started to think. And I started to think some more. And I was like, okay, if I am in fact created to be something, to be someone, just like every other person is, what is that something I am created for? And the more I thought on it, and the more I dwelled on it, the more I realized that I am here, more or less, to be an advocate for those that are voiceless. And I am here to explore, I am here to adventure, I am here to create, I am here to overcome, I am here to be Eileen. I am Eileen. I am who I am. I am not my family. You do not have to be your family. You do not have to be whoever is telling you these negative fucking things. Do not believe it. Get out as fast as you can before it overcomes you. Because once it overtakes you and you believe their lies, it is so much harder to get out. Do not believe them. If you hear anything from this, do not believe the people that want you to fail. Believe in yourself. Even if you don't believe in yourself, do the exact opposite of those that don't have your best interest in heart. Just do the exact fucking opposite. If they want you to continue to cut yourself, if they want you to continue to abuse drugs, if they want you to drop out of school, if they think that you're not going to succeed in school, if they think you're going to be a dropout, prove them wrong. Make all A's. Get into therapy. Start working towards something, anything. Start bettering yourself, even if it's just getting out of bed. Because I swear, if you believe those motherfuckers, it's going to be so much harder to get out. But listen to me and hear that those motherfuckers that don't want you to succeed are not the ones that you need to stay around. And I know this is a really fucking weird video after all the other videos I've done, and I'm gonna try to cut it down to make it a lot shorter. I probably have a few other retakes, but just know that I love y'all, and I have 0 subscribers right now, and I'm okay with that. I don't know if I'm gonna get any views, and I'm okay with that. But eventually someone will view it, and maybe it'll help them. So, peace out, motherfuckers!